A wave of Russian airstrikes on cities across Ukraine, including Kyiv, has left at least 25 people dead. This comes as Ukrainian president begged his allies for more defense supplies. The attacks were a part of the wave of Russian missiles and drone strikes. The attacks have been most intense aerial bombing of major Ukrainian cities in weeks. In Uman, a 9-storey apartment building partially collapsed after it was hit by a missile.
Russian airstrikes have hit cities across Ukraine, including the capital Kyiv, in the first large-scale attack in nearly 2 months. Several people were killed after residential areas were targeted in the early hours of Friday morning. In the central city of Uman, there were a number of fatalities and many wounded after a residential building was struck, leaving firefighters and rescue workers combing through the rubble for survivors and to retrieve the dead. Ukraine's interior minister told Reuters that over half of the flats in the building were completely destroyed. This man's apartment was one of those hit. He describes being woken at 4:30 a.m. by an explosion which trapped him until rescuers were able to free him.
My flat is on the 7th floor, on the other side of that block. We felt the impact. We heard the explosion. I went to the door. I unlocked it, but I couldn't open it because it was blocked. My neighbors are gone. No one is left. There is no one alive in the whole block. Only the kitchens were left standing, from the 1st till the 5th floor.
Further east in Dnipro, a woman and her child were killed at home, while one child is reported to have been hospitalized in a town outside of Kyiv after missile debris hit an apartment block. Explosions were also reported in Mykolaiv, Poltava and Kremenchuk. The Ukrainian military said it has shot down all but 2 of the cruise missiles fired by Russia. In Kyiv, officials reported that air defense units had destroyed 11 missiles and 2 drones. Writing on Telegram, President Volodymyr Zelenskiy condemned the attacks, which come as Kyiv prepares to launch its long-awaited spring counteroffensive. Using hundreds of tanks and armoured vehicles sent by the West, Ukraine plans to try and retake Russian-occupied territory in the east. While it is not clear what Russia was targeting in the overnight attacks, it has regularly struck civilian infrastructure. Although such attacks have tapered off since winter ended, with Ukraine's Western allies suggesting Russia had used up much of its long-range missile arsenal. Moscow denies targeting civilians, but such airstrikes and shelling have killed thousands of people and devastated Ukrainian cities.
As a result of today's strike in the Dnipro region, 2 Ukrainians died, a mother and her daughter. Ola, born in 1992, and Veronica, born in 2020, who hadn't lived enough to be there. Eternal remembrance and condolences to the family. Condolences to their close friends. Today, our Air Force managed to shoot down most of the Russian missiles, 21 out of 23 fired. Save for that, the terrorist state would have managed to make many more casualties to take more lives. And it proves once again that you can stop terror only with weaponry, air defenses, modern aviation, without which air defenses cannot be fully effective. Artillery armored vehicles are also required. All that is needed to give safety to our towns, our villages, both in backcountry and on the front line. The return of security to our people who were sadly on occupied territories, albeit temporarily. We cannot leave anyone within the power of Russian evil.
Щоб повернути безпеку і нашим людям.
Шановні громадяни, повітряна тривога, пройдіть найближче укриття. Шановні громадяни, повітряна тривога, пройдіть найближче укриття. Шановні громадяни, повітряна тривога, пройдіть найближче укриття.
I'm not even ashamed to say that I hate them, not for myself, but for everyone. For my girl tenant, who was jumping from the 9th floor of this damaged building over the balcony stair landings last night.
По балконах, по площадках. Чула те, що
I felt that it was a very strong wave and everything just fell down on me and my granddaughter. The windows and glass just fell. What did we feel? I don't know. I didn't have the time to get scared. I just took the child and threw her out in the corridor. And only then I thought I had glass at my legs.
вже потім думала, що в мене стекло в ногах.
We have faith and we believe in air defense in our Ukrainian armed forces. And we hope that this will not happen again. And while we are sitting here, we will not be sad, but will support the spirit of our country. We know that we are invincible. Glory to Ukraine.